Hi, everybody. This is Rob and the MLM Solution. And we go live each and every day, Monday through Friday at 10 a.m. 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. It's currently 10:57 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And as always, if you don't mind to help us out, because as you know, we can't grow without you. You guys have been awesome. Please continue to share our podcast and our live streaming on our Facebook page and our YouTube channel by utilizing hashtag the MLM Solution. That's how you can find us, by using hashtag the MLM Solution. If you will, share hashtag the MLM Solution with our fellow network marketers across the globe so they can have access to this great information as well. As you know, we talk all things network marketing, all things, the good, the bad, and yes, even the ugly. No one addresses the subject matter that we do. We give you great insight and deep dives into subjects that other people won't even touch. You will become a focused business building machine capable of great things with the knowledge that we share with you guys. That being said, we're going to be going live here very shortly. I'm going to hop off of here. Miss Marie and I will be talking about today the Eeyore Effect. Yes, Winnie the Pooh fame, Eeyore Effect. If you want to know what we're talking about, join us today at 11 a.m. See you in a minute. Bye.
Welcome to the MLM Solution Podcast Show, where you'll learn the facts and hear the truth about the network marketing industry. Here's your host, Rob Cootie.
Hello, Miss Marie.
Good morning.
Today's Tuesday, Miss Marie. It's the 9th of February. Almost a third of the way through the month already.
Well, yeah, pretty much. Since it is a short month, we're about a third of the way through. It's just zooming on by. But that's a good thing because it's getting us closer to your episode 200.
It is. We're racing towards that thing. Well, I mean, look at us. We're at number 127, Miss Marie. 127. You know what? It just seemed like the other day we hit 100. I kid you not. I mean, you know what? It was just the other day. It was February 1st. I mean, it's 9 days ago, obviously, but Miss Marie, it seemed like February 1st was just the other freaking day.
Well, you know what they say, life is like a roll of toilet paper. The closer you get to the end, the faster it goes.
Oh, man. You know what? That's a great saying. I'm not really sure how I feel about that, but
it's like the cat in the bathroom.
Oh, Miss Marie, you make me laugh, I tell you. But here's the thing. I'm the one that's older here. I'm the one that's racing towards the end of that toilet paper. That is not a humbling thought.
Dude, I'm right behind you.
Oh, man. The wife and I talk about it more we care to. We hope we live to be 80. We were talking about dementia and the people that we know, because, some people close to us have dementia or Alzheimer's or other really debilitating, I won't say life events. I'll put it that way. And there's only a few that are living good, healthy lives. Well, that doesn't bode well, especially considering what I've been going through lately, health-wise. And I hate cliches. You know that. I hate it. But Miss Marie, do you realize that how quickly my life changed when I fell?
Mm-hmm.
How easily that could have been literally life-changing, not to dramatize things. Only by the grace of God, I kid you not, only by the grace of God did I not end up being in worse shape than I am. You know the challenge. You've been there since day one when I did the episode the day after I fell. And you know the journey I've been on, and it has been a major challenge.
Oh, exactly. Well, and I tell you what, that's one of those things where it's an unforeseen accident that you didn't really have any control over.
No,
But when it comes to your long-term health, longevity, those types of things, a lot of it is in the day-to-day choices, what you
there it is.
decide to eat and drink, whether or not you decide to get up and move around. I think just from observing some of my family members, because longevity runs pretty good on both sides of my family.
Well, good.
And even though they're not particularly healthy people when it
Mhm.
comes to diet and exercise,
Mhm.
typically, the
Yeah,
fact that some of, especially the women, actually get out and walk a little bit at least every day or get on a
good.
stationary bike, just that motion, that mobility, the whole idea of if you
Mhm.
don't use it, you're going to lose it in terms of the mobility and
Yep.
balance and those types
Yeah.
of things. It becomes much more true as you're older. But even when you're younger, starting in your 20s, 30s,
Mhm.
some of the diet and exercise habits you get into are going to affect your long-term abilities. So,
No doubt. Yeah.
yep, got to be conscious of those things for
You
sure.
do. Yes. It's, without bringing it up, I don't want to bring attention to myself. That's for sure. But my gosh, the only reason I bring it up is because what you just said. I've realized just how quickly my life changed, and as you know, it's been a struggle uh, from that point on. I mean, I have, and I'll be honest with you, Miss Marie, I'm a relatively very healthy guy. I've really taken good care of myself for the most part, and thank God I did, because I'd be paying a terrible price right now if I had, you
Well, life
know.
life can turn on a dime through
Oh,
no fault
woo.
of your own, pure accident, whatever. And again,
Mhm.
this is one of the beautiful things about the network marketing industry and why
Yes,
we are the advocates that we are,
absolutely.
because you just never know. Having the time freedom and the
Yes,
flexibility to be able to deal with things as they pop up,
that's
whatever they
right.
may be, having the financial reserves to take care of any health issues, accidents, needs that may arise unexpectedly, having that emergency fund set up, just having that lifestyle that affords you
Yes,
more options. Because that's what money truly is. It's options. The
it
more
is.
money you have, the more options you have. It's not about
Absolutely.
greed. It's not about, taking
Mhm.
advantage of people and those types of things. Some of the ideas or false beliefs that people have around the network marketing industry, but
Right.
just being able to provide for yourself, your family, the other people on your team, helping them
Mhm.
have those additional options, it's absolutely huge. And that's why we're here. This is why we do the podcast that we do. This is
Right.
why we provide some of the resources that we do, because we want to help you be successful in your business, to attain that income level, that time freedom, that lifestyle that you're after to provide for yourself, your
That's right.
family, and whatever other charitable causes or interests you want to get involved in,
That's right.
because
That's
good makes the world go round, right?
that's right.
There's a gentleman, he's in the network marketing industry, but it is not his primary thing. His name's Steve Larson, and he has a line where he says, make more, give back.
There
And
you go.
and I think that's absolutely true. And that's what most people want to do, because you hit a point where, you can only do so much with your money, but
Yeah,
then to have the opportunity to give back, to help others,
yeah,
to fund charitable causes, absolutely fantastic.
it is. And yes, I gotta. I tell the wife and I have this discussion quite a bit, Miss Maria, and I tell her, she goes, well, she goes, what, like she wants to go and get these different things, and I told her, I said, no, I have enough. I am so blessed. And I mean that, Miss Marie, take it with a grain of salt. What I'm saying is, I don't need no more material stuff. I'd rather do some other things, like I love saving animals, from these puppy farms and all that other stuff. And not only donate my time and money to do that and helping people in the same time in this crazy world that we're in. And Miss Marie, all the doctors, that I've been to since this fall, do you know how much time I would have had to take off of work?
A
I don't know
lot.
how to keep my
Probably enough that would have gotten you into a little bit of trouble.
It's exactly right. And you know what? I haven't had a single concern. How blessed I am. You nailed it. When you said that, it really just kind of jumped out at me, because you're right. I didn't think about it because, I don't know about you, but I'm so used to it. It's such a daily activity to me. I don't even think about it. But you're right. When you said that, I was like, oh my gosh, she's absolutely right. And these are the things I always wanted to achieve. The ability to do this without looking over my shoulder. Am I going to get fired? Am I going to get fired? You know what I'm saying? Because I'm taking too much time off for me. It's not like I'm screwing around. I'm out there trying to get myself right. But
well, and if you think about it, the average person who has a job, they have vacation time that they can use. They may have personal time off that they can take advantage of. But that stuff goes awful fast. And once you're out of that time, then you're taking time off without pay. And a lot of people don't have the flexibility built in where they can do a whole lot of that, right?
That's right. Yeah.
They're depending on their paychecks week to week.
That's right. Absolutely. And we can help you get out of that mess. So if you just follow what we're teaching you, I'm telling you. All right, Miss Marie, we got a good subject. One of my favorites. And for those of you, just in case, we did this yesterday, there's Eeyore. There's our guy.
Eeyore. And speaking of old, Eeyore is 95 years old this year. Did you know that?
My gosh.
He was first introduced in 1926. He's one of the cast of characters that's part of the Winnie the Pooh story. He's an old gray stuffed donkey, and he truly is old now, being 95. And yep, he is typically described as being pessimistic, gloomy, and depressed. So when we're talking about the Eeyore effect, what we're really doing is, yesterday we talked about the benefits of attrition. And this actually dovetails with that topic very nicely. We didn't go into detail on it yesterday because I did want to do this separately with the Eeyore effect. And the fact that oftentimes the attrition that you're going to experience within your business, some of those people are going to be the Eeyores of the world. They're going to be the ones that are sad, gloomy, depressed, looking at the dark side of everything rather than the bright side. They are the ones that are going to be a drag on your time and your energy. So I don't know about you, Rob, but I know there are people that I have worked with in the past that even a phone conversation of 5 to 10 minutes just leaves me absolutely drained. It's like this huge energy suck. Have you ever had anything like that?
Oh,
you must have experienced it.
Of course not. No, Miss Marie.
No, never.
No, everybody has those people, the Eeyores, and it's a great, that's a perfect symbol to use to identify those type of people, because that's exactly what they do. Is they drain on you, and they walk around, Miss Marie, and you almost have to giggle sometimes. They just walk around, oh, woe is me. I've done everything I can and nothing works. Woe is me. And you're just like, dude, come on. With that kind of attitude, yeah, you're going to have some struggles, Let's pep it up a little bit. There's some positive going on here too. But man, I'll tell you, sometimes you think the world was coming to an end when you talk to these people.
Yeah, and the problem with that is if you have those types of people in your organization, especially if you're feeling the effects yourself, what do you think is happening when they're interacting with others on your team? Or if you're on a conference call or you're meeting at an event and they're bringing kind of that doom and gloom, just cloudy vibe with them in an environment where you're trying to be positive and upbeat and uplift people, and they're just seeing like the dark side of everything. It can create a real problem within your organization if you don't do something about it.
Yes.
So the interesting aspect, and I don't know if you've observed anything similar, but the Eeyores of the world typically don't last real long in network marketing.
No.
Because that attitude just kind of doesn't jive with what's going on. They feel very out of place. They don't really click with other people. And it's difficult because most people who get involved in network marketing, they're looking for upside. They're looking for the bright side. They're looking to advance themselves.
Right.
Personal growth and self-development is huge in this industry. So you have people that are looking to build upon the positives in their life and do things for the benefit of others. Oftentimes it starts with themselves and their own, financial position and being able to provide for their family. But then as you're building a team, you're trying to bring others up along with you and help them be successful as well. And the Eeyores of the world, they don't function at that same, what some people would call vibrational level, that level of energy. Everybody else is up here and the Eeyores are hanging out down here, rolling around in the mud, and nobody wants that splattered on them. So they tend to back off, right?
Yes. A very good point. Sorry I have the yawns today. I don't know why. I evidently didn't get enough sleep. Anyway.
Or not getting enough oxygen to the brain.
Well, the wife would attest to that. She wouldn't argue that at all. So, but yeah, the Eeyores, man, we've all had them. I mean, and you're going to have them, guys. Whether you like it or not, you're going to end up sponsoring an Eeyore. They're usually quiet, reserved, introverted, can be a pain in the butt. They're not like the people we call them. Miss Marie loves to call them the PETAs, the pain in the ass people. We did an episode on PETAs, and it's absolutely right on that episode. Your Eeyores are a little bit different. They're a pain in the butt. Don't get me wrong, but in a more serene way, a more
they're more of a dull pain than a sharp pain.
Yes, it's sharp pain. That's right. They're unassuming. They'll walk around, not say much, and when they do, it's, oh well, and you're just like, oh, here we go. They couldn't draw excitement out of a light bulb. Okay. And speaking of light bulb, Miss Marie, the wife and I, before we got on here, we heard a big boof. And we're like, what in the world? And she goes, I don't know what that was. And I said, it sounded like a light bulb. We had a light bulb above us just explode. I've never had that happen in my life. Glass went everywhere. So anyway, back to our Eeyore. I had to throw that in there while I was thinking about light bulb. Who in the world ever had that happen? Just, I don't even know. Anyway, so Eeyores. Well, the thing is, guys, is that the Eeyores can drain your positive energy. Well, you talked about that look, you have positive energy. You got to have that positive energy, not only for yourself, but for your people too. The people that are being positive, they're moving forward. Look, they want to be around somebody that's focused, that's moving ahead, not necessarily talking fast like myself, but somebody that's motivated, has some energy about them, some excitement about them, and is glad to get up out of bed every day to pursue their goals and dreams. That's what they're looking for. Not an Eeyore who's, oh, well, I'll get to it today when I get to it. Oh, yeah, Rob, I talked to one person today. That was so exciting. I look forward to doing it again. And guys, the chances of them doing it again is going to be pretty slim, or they're going to be a grinder at best. They do not have the personality. They do not have the enthusiasm. They do not have, to be honest with you, what it takes to make it in this industry. But guess what? More times than not, you're going to run into these people, and they're going to want to sign up. Okay, now whether they stick around or not, Miss Marie, mine didn't stick around, and you touched on that a little bit. I had some that stuck around for a few weeks and then disappeared off into the sunset. To this day, I couldn't tell you what happened. And it's funny because they disappear the way they came in, very under the radar. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And but they get in this social environment, Miss Marie, and they're awkward. And they kind of fade in the background, and they kind of walk around like this. Not that they're ashamed, but they're very uncomfortable socially, and they don't know what to say to people and stuff. But they see the thing is, they get it. They see the business model. They see what it can do. They're excited at the possibilities, and they don't have the ability to look at themselves and say, I don't have what it takes. I don't have the tools. You and I talked about, look, you got to have speaking abilities. You got to have a personality. We did an episode on that. Why did we do an episode on that? Because these are the things you got to have. We don't want you joining and wasting your money and your time when you may not have the ability or the skill set to make this business go. Okay. Most people think, well, all I got to do is just get out there and work hard. That's true. But here's the thing. You got to be able to speak. You got to be able to have confidence. You got to be able to dress nice. You got to be able to, those are some of the prerequisites. Would you not agree, Miss Marie? You cannot fool people. You have to have those tools. You have to be able to look in the mirror and say, well, I need a shave. I need a trim. I need to wear different clothes. I need to tuck this in. And you need, I'll look professional now, right, Miss Marie? And you don't have to be dressed to the nines. You just have to be very presentable, right?
Well, and there's that idea that like attracts like. So if you have an Eeyore who tends to be a little bit pessimistic and they talk slowly, and if you're not familiar with the Winnie the Pooh stories and how the Eeyore character plays out, he talks kind of low and slow, right? He's like, well, Pooh, I don't know.
Yeah.
It's going to be partly cloudy today.
Yeah,
when the sun's bright and shining and everybody else is, woohoo, what a beautiful day. Well, the weatherman said it's going to rain later.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
if it's the concept of like attracting like, well, what are they going to attract? People with similar personality traits to them. And it's not going to mesh very well. And the other challenge that Eeyore Effect is the fact that they will look at the dark side of everything. They will not see the positives. There could be a change in the compensation plan, for instance, that works out as a better benefit. It will help people get to the car program benefits faster or whatever. Well, I don't know if I'm going to be able to hit that level of volume. It's going to be hard. I don't think I'm ever going to get that car now. They changed it, and now I have to relearn my script. And it can be frustrating, especially if they are popping up in a conversation on a conference call or in a training, because oftentimes, especially when you're having interactive trainings with your team and questions come up and the Eeyore's like, what about this negative aspect over here? I don't see how we're going to deal with that. Yeah. It gets so frustrating. So yes. I've had experiences even now. Obviously, we talked about the fact, we talked about attrition yesterday and a week ago, and they do often end up feeling out of place and gradually just kind of go away. But I've also had situations where I've had to flat out ask people, it's like, look, if all you're going to do is nitpick the training or the new features, products, whatever that are coming out, I just need you to zip it. I don't want to hear it. If it's on a conference call, I will mute you out. It's like, oops, looks like Eeyore got disconnected. Let's move on to the next question.
Good for you. There you go. Now, see, that's somebody that takes charge. She takes charge of her own business, her own future, and then does what she has to do. Way to go, Miss Marie. It
becomes kind of like an infection, right? And you don't want that to spread. You don't want that starting to permeate your organization, because most people are not automatically going to go to the negatives of the information being presented. Now, if somebody brings it to their attention, it's like, oh, I didn't think about that. What are we going to do about that? And then all of a sudden, you're being forced down a tangent or having a conversation and wasting time on things you never even intended that wouldn't have been an issue otherwise. So.
Well, and the thing is, Miss Marie, when you have an Eeyore, it makes you feel bad when you sign them up, knowing that they don't have what it takes to make the business go. And there's times I felt totally guilty. And as I told you before, I mean, I would tell people, say, hey, look, I don't think this is the right way to go. I don't think this is what we need to be doing, because I know, and I'm trying to save them. I'm trying to, gently say, hey, you're just not right for this business. I'll try and save them up front, their feelings. But if they're refusing to participate, then guess what my job becomes? It becomes, hey, I need to let them know, guys, you just don't have what it takes, And I would do it in a gentle way, but I mean, I couldn't take their money. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So, but remember, I told you that guy, that diamond, that new skin diamond, 5 years, he talked like that. It was so unassuming. So you can't, Miss Marie and I can't sit here and say 100% that it won't work. Because realize when I tell that story, which I did the other day, the caveat to that story was that was done in the 80s. Okay, totally different. People were more open. People were willing to listen. People were willing to trust people a whole lot more. And Miss Marie, things were slower back then. You could get away with it. I wish I had a better explanation of why it worked back then than it does now. Guys, you just cannot. A grinder is not going to make it in this business. But back in the day, for whatever reason, Miss Marie, and I guess because we didn't have that instantaneous communication ability, like picking up the cell phone and calling Marie right now. Hey, Marie, I've run into opportunity. Yeah, Rob, blah, blah, blah. Back in those days, people had house phones. So, I mean, it was a lot slower to get a hold of somebody. You had to call them at home and hope you catch them, blah, 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 blah.
I was going to say, and you call them at home and they actually have to answer the phone. There was no leaving a message.
No. And you kept calling and there was no caller ID. No. So you kept calling until they answered the phone.
Well, and here's where I think the difference is today, Rob, is I don't think people have the patience to be a grinder to make this work long-term at that slow pace. I think it's the people. It's not so much the time and the technology and the processes. People are too much about the instantaneous, immediate gratification thing. If it's not working right away, boop, short attention span theater, I'm on to the next thing.
That's right. I agree.
And one other point I want to clarify here too is what we're talking about with the Eeyore aspect are those gloomy, depressed, sad, negative-oriented people. This is not to say that people who are soft-spoken, introverted, whatever, cannot be successful in this business. You absolutely can. As long as you're doing the consistent and correct business building activities, you have the system that works, and you're following a proven path. It absolutely can work. As a matter of fact, there are some people who are introverts. You'd be surprised. I mean, honestly, I'm an introvert. And most people, when they hear that,
I know, I would have never guessed that.
See, exactly. And most people, when they hear that, say, no, you're not. You're the biggest extrovert in the world. It's like, no, you know what? The environment has made me be, if you're left-handed and right-handed, you're ambidextrous. If you're an introvert and an extrovert, what are you, bipolar? I don't know. I know that's not the right terminology, but there's got to be a term for it. Now I'm going to have to go look for that. Just because of the career that I've had, the kind of work that I do, the things that I want to accomplish, I have to be a functional extrovert in the world. Yeah. And I'm okay with that. But at the end of the day, I am an introvert. Now, I've never been soft.
I would have never guessed that.
What that's like, but
I would have never guessed that. If you'd have said that you were, Rob, can you tell me if I'm an introvert or extrovert? I would have never ever guessed that.
Oh yeah, except for like the handful of my closest friends who know me really, really well. You ask anybody that knows me, they'll tell you I'm an extrovert, 100%. As a matter of fact, now I'm going to want to put up a little survey thing on Facebook. It's like, tell me, am I an extrovert or an introvert?
Well, that's
we'll see what the numbers prove out there.
Let me know. Keep us posted. That would be awesome.
Be
love to hear that. Yeah.
So one other thing I wanted to talk about in terms of Eeyore specifically, the character from Winnie the Pooh, is I find it really interesting that the author made him a donkey. You know, the sad, gloomy, pessimistic donkey. Because what's the other thing we call a donkey? An ass. Yeah. So, and in the context of network marketing, that sad, gloomy, pessimistic person is a PITA, as Rob said earlier. Pain in the ass can be one as well.
Yeah.
But one little piece of trivia I have to share with you about Eeyore, and I grew up a Winnie the Pooh fan and loved the stories and all the different characters. But this is something I learned just recently that I was totally unaware of before. When the author created the character and named him Eeyore, do you know why his name is Eeyore?
I have no idea.
It's a onomatopoeic name. Now, onomatopoeia is a word that sounds like what it is. Like boom is onomatopoeia. You know, it's a word that sounds like the sound, right? Moo, the cow. Meow is what a cat does. Well, the author was British, I believe. I could be wrong about that. But pronunciation of some words are different. And if you think about it, here in the US, oftentimes the sound that a donkey makes, hee-haw, Eeyore.
Yeah, that's true.
He's named after the sound a donkey makes. So that's where Eeyore came from.
I did not know that.
I didn't either. That's why I had to share that. I thought that was
too flippin' cool.
Yeah.
That is too flippin' cool. Well, you know that there's no right way to deal with an Eeyore, guys, just to let you know. The only thing you can do if they insist on staying in your business and they show up at events, guys, you can't ignore them. What if they sponsor one or two people before they quit? And one of those people end up being a pretty good sized business builder. What an awesome gift. Okay. So the thing is that these people may be lacking in the skills that are necessary to make this business go. As long as they're nice at corporate events, like if you hold a regional, you're big enough to where you start having your own regionals. Guys, just keep in mind that someone like this who loves coming around because of the people atmosphere and things like that, you're going to have to go out of your way sometimes and really acknowledge their existence and stuff, because you never know what could happen, and it's the right thing to do. They may sponsor 1, 2, or 3 people and disappear. You don't know. What if one of those 3 people end up being a huge star that causes this massive explosion of volume growth? Okay. Now, you hate to look at that one person that way, but we're all entrepreneurs. We're all in a business model and we know how it works. And that's kind of where your mind goes. But that doesn't mean that you have to give up on that person. You can stay in touch with them, whether they're a part of the business or not. What I'm saying here is don't let a Eeyore take your focus away from what you should be doing, cause you to take your eye off the prize, cause you to slow down or get detoured. Guys, just stay the course and let the cream rise to the top, okay? You can't do everything for them, right, Miss Marie? That's one of the negatives in dealing with an Eeyore. And like Miss Marie said, if they're so bad, you pretty much are going to have to cut them off or hope and pray that they're going to quit on their own.
Well, and on the flip side of it, it's possible that an Eeyore will transform being engaged in the opportunity.
I know it, yes.
Because they're going to be around this positive influence. They're going to be around personal development, growth-minded people. And it may rub off on them. There are people who will recognize the fact that I see the opportunity here. I want to be successful. What are the other successful people doing? They're not nitpicking the compensation plan. They're not constantly looking at the negative side of things. They're focusing on the positive. They're following this system, and these are the steps they follow. And even though it may not work out exactly the way I want it to every time, I'm just still going to keep chugging along and following the system because it's been proven to work. So you may find that the Eeyore-esque person becomes less and less so until they're not anymore.
Yeah.
That is also a very real possibility.
Oh, yeah.
Now, the one thing I will caution you on is not making an Eeyore your personal project to help them get there. That really has to be an internal self-motivated thing. You are never going to be able to take an Eeyore and transform them into a top producer. That is not going to happen. It has to be that person's decision. So that's the only big caution flag I will throw there is do not turn someone on your team into a project.
No, no, we just talked about that. Do not do that. Guys, that's a huge mistake. Miss Marie is absolutely right. So we won't go there. Miss Marie, when it's all said and done, there's certain common characteristics that can identify an Eeyore. Guys, if you're out there and you're prospecting using the scale of ambition, using all the tools, let's just say that we teach you during the prospecting process, guys, if you have an Eeyore, please write it down on your scale of ambition paper. Remember, there's a place on there for you to take notes. You need to be accurate. You cannot be quote unquote nice. Okay. You don't have to be mean either. But you don't want to overlook the major challenges that this person may have. Maybe you just had Miss Marie and I set up an appointment, and Miss Marie fills out her paperwork and says, Rob has got as much chance of building this business as I do landing on the moon without a spacesuit. The bottom line is that Rob is lacking in all the basic things that he needs to make this business go. That would be kind of the notes that she would take. Don't sugarcoat it, okay? Because you're doing that person a favor as well as yourself, right, Miss Marie? By not signing them up, okay? If you can help it. Don't get so desperate you sign up people like this, guys. That is going to be a real challenge. You will regret it. I'll promise you that. But the thing about the Eeyores is that she said the biggest concern you have is the cancer that gets spread throughout the business. If they have a negative attitude and a big mouth, that's a bad combination. And that could wreak havoc on your business, okay? And so don't sponsor somebody like that. An Eeyore is going to be a grinder, Miss Marie. There's no doubt about it. They don't have the focus. They don't have the energy. They don't have the desire. It totally goes over their head, about speed and urgency. Why do I want to do that? I'll just be consistent. I'll sponsor one person a month, and eventually I'll get there. As you know, Miss Marie, that's not going to work. So they tend to be grinders, to be honest with you. And when they are active, they don't always do things right, Miss Marie. They tend to carry that laissez-faire attitude over into other aspects of the quote-unquote business building process. It affects almost every phase of their business, Miss Marie. And chances are they won't even have a business.
Well, and ultimately, as I said early on, what you will find is, especially if you have to deal with them on a regular basis, you are going to feel that energy drain, and it is going to be a time suck. And that is your most valuable commodity that you have is your time. And you cannot lose it on those types of people trying to reorient their thinking because they're skewing negative and want to nitpick this, that, and the other thing. You're not going to convince them. You're not going to convert them. You're not going to change them.
No.
You just have to let that go.
Right. And guys, if you do sign one up, let them be the best Eeyore they can be. Don't try to make them something they're not, as Miss Marie touched on a few moments ago. Okay? That's the bottom line. And then be honest with you, the chances of them doing something of any significance is going to be pretty small. All right. And it's an emotional roller coaster dealing with people like this, Miss Marie, because there's such more times than not, the Eeyores are such nice people. And you don't want to treat them bad. And you want them to be successful, but it's a two-way street. Remember, guys, we told you, they move, you move. That's one of the basics of 101 of network marketing. They move, you move. And the bottom line is if the Eeyores are not willing to go out of the way to say, Rob, I need help, guess what? What's my job? To not hound them, to not worry about them. If they have a question, they'll get in touch with me. So, Ms. Marie, do you have anything else to add about our Eeyores?
I do not. I think we covered everything I really wanted to touch on with that. The fact that, they're just, you have to protect yourself from them and you have to protect the rest of your team from them because more often than not, it's just going to be detrimental. So. And
you have to be able to recognize them and when to walk away, guys.
Yep.
You don't have to sign them up. Okay. Mm-hmm. You do not have to sign them up. So it's better just to walk away, to be honest with you, rather than dealing with them. But if they're already in your business, they're already there, and you have to deal with that on your own accord. All right, Miss Marie, if you don't have anything, I don't have anything. Guys, the website is being overhauled. I don't have anything to show you today, so I will pick it up next week. But as I told you, a lot of changes coming along. The 3 free gifts are no longer available. We told you that was coming. There will be something else up very shortly. And it'll be a different package. It'll be one that'll be power packed, no doubt. So we will do that, Miss Marie. I will bring those up very shortly, probably by Thursday. I'll have all that where we can start showing people the new URL addresses and what's available, et cetera, et cetera.
I can't wait to show off all the hard work you've been doing. This is going to be exciting.
It is going to be exciting, yes. And thank you guys, because I was telling Miss Marie about our numbers across the board. And guys, we are so flattered. I cannot even tell you, Miss Marie, just when I think it's slowing down, I'm thinking, okay, we've peaked out. We got to take another approach. We got to start advertising this and that. And Miss Marie, I'll go back and the numbers are off the charts. You're just like, wow, that's awesome. So, all right. So with that being said, Miss Marie, I don't know about you, but I'm ready for tomorrow, 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, to talk about podcast number 128, the 90-day goal sheet. Okay.
Yes, I am excited about that.
Yeah,
we often talk about the 90-day mini blast. We did an episode last week talking about the next 90 days after that original 90-day mini blast.
Yeah, phase 2.
So, yep, phase 2. So thought it would be a good idea to maybe take a step back for a moment and talk specifically about the 90-day goal sheet itself, what we can help you with in that realm. So yes, I'm excited for that tomorrow, 11 a.m. Eastern. Hope you all join us.
That's right. All right, guys, with that being said, God bless. Hope everybody has a great day. We'll see you tomorrow, 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Please, once again, use hashtag #TheMLMSolution. That's hashtag #TheMLMSolution to help your fellow network marketers across the globe find us on our various social media platforms and let them know that we go live each and every day at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time so they can watch us live. With that being said, guys, we're going to hop off here. We'll see you tomorrow. Another great subject, okay? As I said, podcast that's wrong one. Sorry.
Podcast
128, the 90-day goal sheet. Almost made a boo-boo. All right, guys, take care. God bless. And we shall see you guys tomorrow. See you, Miss Marie. Take care.
Later.
Bye.
Thank you for listening to the MLM Solution Podcast. For more info, visit our website, themlmsolution.net. Please follow us on the following platforms: Facebook, YouTube, etc. And share this podcast with our fellow network marketers around the world by hitting the share button on our various platforms.